George Clooney has made audiences laugh, charm, and dream for more than 3 decades. Adam Sandler has done the same, winning hearts with comedy before surprising everyone with deeply emotional performances. But no one expected the two of them together to create a Netflix movie that would leave viewers teary-eyed. And yet that's exactly what happened with Noah Baumbach's new film, Jay Kelly, a story that looks like it's about a fading movie star, but ends up being about something much more universal, something most of us eventually face. The moment in life when you stop pretending, look back, and ask yourself what you might have done differently. The movie opens with a deceptively simple moment. Clooney's character, Jay Kelly, is filming a dramatic death scene on a movie set. He gets shot, falls to the ground, delivers his last line. The director calls cut. Everyone exclaims how good it was. But Jay sits up, shakes his head, and says, "Can we go again? I think I can do it better." That line, repeated throughout the film, becomes his quiet confession. It's the question of a man who has lived a life full of achievements, fame, and success on paper, but who keeps wondering if he could have done better where it mattered most. Jay Kelly is not a man who reflects easily. Even his acting teacher once told him that introspection was never his strength. But after the death of his longtime mentor, a director played beautifully in flashbacks by Jim Broadbent, Jay suddenly finds himself thinking about mortality in a way he has avoided for years. The funeral brings up memories he hoped had stayed buried. It also brings back an old acting school rival, played by Billy Crudup, who appears for just one unforgettable scene. With a smile that cuts like a knife, he reminds Jay of who he used to be: ambitious, reckless, selfish, and willing to betray people to get ahead. Shaken, Jay makes another impulsive decision, the kind he has probably made his whole life. With no warning, he gathers his entire entourage and announces that they're flying to Europe. Officially, he's going to receive a Lifetime Achievement Award in Tuscany. But secretly, he has a personal mission. He wants to surprise his daughter, Daisy, who is backpacking across Europe before college. He hopes this grand gesture will repair years of distance. And beneath that, there is a quiet ache he refuses to name, the fear that he wasn't the kind of father she needed. Jay has 2 daughters. Daisy, the younger one, still has some hope that he can show up in her life. Jessica, the older one, has already made up her mind. In her eyes, Jay wasn't there when she needed him. Now, she barely speaks to him. And though Jay tries not to think about it, her absence weighs on him quietly, constantly. It is the consequence of being a public hero and a private disappointment. The trip becomes the movie's emotional core. Jay's entourage includes his business manager Ron, played by Adam Sandler, whose performance has been called one of the best of his career. Ron has spent decades being the quiet man behind Jay's shine, the one who schedules, organizes, protects, smooths things over, and sacrifices his own life so Jay can keep living his. There's also Liz, his publicist, played by Laura Dern, Candy, his hairstylist, played by Emily Mortimer, and various assistants who look more exhausted with every stop. On the train from Paris to Italy, they can't get first-class seats. Jay, for the first time in decades, sits among ordinary passengers. To his surprise, they know him, they adore him, and he enjoys the attention. His charm turns the entire compartment into a small fan club, yet beneath that charm is a deep neediness, a craving for approval that even strangers can satisfy when his own children cannot. Meanwhile, Ron stays by his side, patient, loyal, quietly hurting. By the time they reach Tuscany, most of the entourage has left, worn out by Jay's impulsive whims. The only one left is Ron. And it's here, at the awards ceremony, that everything Jay has been running from finally catches up. His father, played by Stacy Keach, attends the event, a man so hard to please that even Jay, the beloved movie star, still crumbles under his disapproval. Jay has spent his whole life trying to be loved by millions of strangers, but the one man he has never been able to impress sits right in front of him. As Jay accepts his award, he sees the exhaustion in Ron's face, the disappointment in his daughter's eyes, the emptiness in his own. And he realizes something painful. He has built a global brand called Jay Kelly, but in the process, he may have forgotten how to be George, how to be himself, or how to be good to the people who mattered most. Sandler is extraordinary in these late scenes. As Ron slowly reaches the limits of his patience, His years of silent sacrifices rise to the surface. He's not angry as much as he is heartbroken. He gave up time with his family. He carried the emotional weight Jay refused to face. And he realizes he may have spent his life caring for someone who did not know how to care back. It is here that the movie becomes more than a Hollywood story. It becomes a story about anyone who has looked back at their life and asked, did I do right by the people I love, or did I miss my chance? It becomes a film about regret, aging, reconciliation, and the uncomfortable truth that success doesn't protect you from loneliness. If anything, sometimes it makes it worse. Though Jay Kelly feels tailor-made for George Clooney, Clooney's real life is nothing like the characters. Clooney didn't become famous in his early 20s. He wasn't a prodigy. He didn't burn through marriages or spend decades avoiding responsibility. Yet the performance is so honest, so layered, that many viewers say they cried simply because Clooney and Sandler, two actors known for completely different things, found such raw vulnerability together. The movie also echoes the films of Fellini and Truffaut, with touches of 8.5 and La Dolce Vita woven gently into its structure. But Jay Kelly never feels like a tribute. It feels like its own story, personal, tender, and quietly wise. What makes it especially moving is the reminder that even the most glamorous lives have silent battles behind them. A man can have wealth, fame, awards, and endless admiration, yet still be unable to fix a broken bond with his daughter. A man can be adored by millions, but still crave forgiveness from the one person he hurt most. And a man can spend his entire life performing for the world, yet never perform the truth for himself. Jay Kelly isn't just a movie about a movie star. It's about what happens when you finally stop running from the mirror. It's about love, ego, aging, and the very human desire for a second chance. For more breaking updates, remember to follow Xplained daily. Do you think George Clooney and Adam Sandler should make more emotional movies together?